Canelo had a great performance. He showed tonight that he's back and he means it. He's back with a purpose. A lot of people wrote him off, but he's not ready to be written off yet, you know? And it's like in boxing, they always want to say a loss or two and you throw boxers out to the pasture, but that's not how it goes. If a boxer still got it, he should be still allowed to compete. And Canelo showed that he's still one of the elite fighters in the 168 division.
In your opinion, who's next for him?
I don't know. I mean, he can fight the brother next. He can fight Benavidez next. He can fight a lot of people next. He can fight the winner of the Boo Boo and Benavidez fight, because that's gonna be a good fight too. So we'll see.
Were you impressed by his performance?
I was highly impressed by his performance.
Yeah. What about his performance were you impressed by?
About the power he showed. You know, he fought the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you fight a guy coming up two weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. If he'd fought Mayweather that way back in the day, we'd saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now, because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford, boy?
Crawford still, I think he's a little big for Crawford. I'm not sure about that, because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now. I want to see him. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jermall? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match up?
Because Jermall matches up a little different, because Jermall a little bit bigger. So it'll be a little bit different fight. You don't have to go out and move around as much as Jermell had to do. So it'll be a little bit different fight with Jermall.
My brother fought like a champion. You know, the winner of 2 weight classes.
What did you say to him when you
Are you making your
won?
comeback, Jermall? Yeah. I'm waiting on my comeback, man. Announcement coming soon? I'm looking for it right now. Awesome guy, man. Awesome. Love you.
Are you learning to catch a hook? Jamal, what did you think of that?
Man, Charlo gave him too much respect, man.
Too much.
He didn't fight his fight.
You feel like he was already scared going into the fight? Like he was already
I don't
defeated?
know if he was scared or not, but you know, Canelo did a tremendous job in there. He did what he had to do.
Ray, what'd you think about the bout?
Good fight, man.
Right here, Sugar Ray.
Good fight. Yeah.
Weight classes for a reason, Ray. It looked like Charlo really couldn't get off tonight against Canelo. What did you think about it?
You know what? Styles make fights. That was you know. Hey, I appreciate the fight. I appreciate it.
I talked to Bud Crawford earlier. Bud let me know vehemently, I'm looking to fight the winner. It looks like it's Canelo Alvarez. What does the Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford fight look like, Sugar Ray?
Tougher than you think.
Do you think Bud can beat Sugar? Do you think Bud can win?
He has proved that.
I think you know, it was just a clean out by Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole time chasing him down, and you know, Canelo's king right now. So I'm excited to see him with who he'll fight next. So.
Did you think that Charlo moved too much during the fight? Was he just in survival mode from the beginning?
You said it.
Yeah, yeah, we think so. Yeah, we definitely think so.
I mean, you were saying a bunch of stuff that you were gonna do, and you didn't do none of it. Like really, or you know, we were in the fight. It was a shutout.
Who do you want to see Canelo fight next, man? Benavidez, Andrade, or even Jamal or Crawford?
Man, anybody but Canelo fights. Right now, nobody can beat Canelo. You know what I mean?
Not even Benavidez?
Benavidez will give him a good fight. I mean, that's you know that homie too, Benavidez. He's probably the only one that can give him a good fight.
Just before,
I can't say. Look, Chavez is my idol, but if I say that Canelo isn't the best fighter that Mexico's ever had, I'll be less than solid. And so, you know, I take my hat off to him. Chavez is my idol forever. To me, there'll never no other fighter that'll forever be an idol for me but him. And that's what it is.
Jim, what'd you think about Canelo's performance tonight?
I thought it was about as good as it gets. I thought that was a tremendous all-around demonstration of what makes Canelo Alvarez the greatest fighter of the generation. From the fabulous chin to the very effective defense to mixing power punches together in the middle rounds, to landing one of the best right hands he's ever thrown to knock Charlo down, and using a series of left hooks to widen the margin down the stretch of the fight. It was vintage Canelo. It's about as good as it gets.
Why did you think it was a one-sided fight?
Why?
Yeah.
I think it was a one-sided fight because Canelo Alvarez is a historically great fighter. I mean, Jermall Charlo is a talented fighter. He's proven that in the ring. But once in every generation, maybe twice in every generation, you get somebody who is up here, better than all the rest. That's who Canelo Alvarez is.
Jim, which is the better matchup or more competitive matchup for Canelo, Crawford or David Benavidez?
I think the David Benavidez fight is a logical matchup. I think a lot of people will want to see it. It makes a lot of sense. But that doesn't get my juices flowing the way the idea of fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is the most violent force in boxing. And I don't think he's big enough to match with Canelo Alvarez, but I think he'd love to have a chance to prove it.
And speaking of the most violent force in boxing, Terence Bud Crawford, I got a chance to meet with Bud Crawford before the bout started today. I asked him straight out, are you looking to fight the winner? He looked at me with a stern face and said, definitely I'm looking to fight the winner. So it looks like he wants to be the next guy to ride the Canelo Alvarez train. What do you think he has to do to get
Terence
ahead
Crawford has gotten a lot of credit for what he's done, and he deserves it. The performance against Spence was spectacular. You know, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound number one. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford pound for pound number one. 2 days ago, I said to Canelo Alvarez, how do you feel about not being pound for pound number one anymore? He looked at me with a blank expression and said, what are you talking about? I'm still pound for pound number one. And tonight he went in and stated his case. It's pretty hard to talk against what he did tonight. So, look, there's a 21-pound weight gap there. Terence Crawford's a 147-pound fighter. I'm sure he'd go as high as 160. Can he get Canelo Alvarez to come down from 68 to 60 to fight him? I don't know. You know, I'm not sure that Canelo would give him that much respect. And I don't think that Crawford has a chance to beat him at 168.
No, I expected them to battle for undisputed. I expected, you know, a little small wage war, but it didn't happen. You feel me? Anticlimactic is what I would call it. Because I just think Charlo realized early on that this wasn't where I was supposed to be with this type of power, with this type of strength. So he kind of survived and made it to the end of the fight, and he didn't get knocked out. So now he can go back down and, hey, he undefeated, you know, go back down to 154 where he's king at. And he want Crawford there, but Crawford want Canelo. So we'll see where Crawford goes.
So I mean, we have Crawford, Charlo Crawford. How would that fight play out after this? You know, he's coming off a defeat. Do you think he'll be mentally ready for that fight after that 16-month layoff? You know, going up on weight and not coming back down. What do you think?
Anytime the long layoff, and again, Charlo came in with a long layoff. I mean, it's hard because you're not going to be sharp. You're not going to be ready when you're coming in with 15, 18, two-year layoff. So give these guys a 6-month, 4-month situation, get right back in the training camp, training for a major fight. You'll see a better performance from these guys. Canelo came to fight, but Charlo just didn't give him no opportunities to do what he needed to do because Charlo was on his bicycle pretty much for the latter part of the fight.
To be honest with you, I didn't expect a knockdown. Were you surprised with that knockdown?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with the knockdown because I felt if Canelo was able to put hands on him, he was going to be effective in getting him, you know, out of there, dropping him. But Charlo was smart in surviving, man. He didn't get hurt tonight, you know what I mean?
Social media saying, a lot of critics are saying that, you know, Charlo just gave him way too much respect. Like, you know, the first round.
Yeah, it looked like that. But again, size is a big issue when it comes down to punching. So he probably felt, even on the arms, you feel that power, bro. And you know you don't want to get hit. As soon as Canelo landed a flush punch, he dropped him. Yeah. So, you know, was smart for Charlo, knowing that, hey, I don't want none of that, bro. So, you know, hats off to Canelo. He can move on now. Hopefully Benavidez or Terence Crawford.
So what about those two names that you just mentioned, Crawford for Canelo, even Benavidez? What fight excites you the most, and what we can see next for Canelo at the moment? What fight excites you the most?
far as the Mexican fan base, Benavidez, they want that fight. That'll be huge.
Even with this performance that he had, you still think that Canelo still has it in him to, beat up a young, or, beat a young, hungry lion like David Benavidez?
Yeah, bro. I mean, that fight gonna be competitive. Ain't nobody running through Canelo. Ain't nobody running through Canelo like he. You feel me? He's a top fighter still. He just beat, Charlo rather, convincingly in a 12-round match. So he still got it, bro.
He has 2 more fights with him on Showtime PBC. The next fight, if he doesn't beat Benavidez, would it interest you to face the other twin, Jermall? Even Jermall was here. He said, I still would want to fight him.
Jermall got to come back and show the world that he still is Jermall Charlo. You feel me? And he still has everything it takes to be not only a champion, but one of the most popular champions in the game, PBC superstar. But he has to get back. He's been out for a minute. Let him get back with somebody he can get tested with, and then we can see where he's really at, mentally and physically.
I mean, at least it lasted all 12 rounds, but I wanted to see Charlo get busy, you know what I'm saying?
I talked to Bud Crawford earlier, right before the bout, and Bud let me know for sure, 100%, he's looking to fight the winner. What's a Bud Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight look like next year?
That'd be a better fight than what we saw today. I mean, I think that Charlo kind of let Canelo just do whatever he wanted. He didn't counter. He had great movement. He had a great jab, but he didn't go to the body enough. He didn't start early enough. He didn't let his hands go. So, but I mean, he did good to be a 154-pounder going to 168 and dealing with the power. But I just expected more.
Mr. Al Bernstein,
hi.
We just saw Canelo Alvarez, unanimous decision victory, kind of lopsided over Jermell Charlo.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fight?
Well, listen, he's healthy. He's feeling good. The nagging injuries are not, are kind of taken care of. So he had a really good training camp. And when he's like that and he doesn't have any fatigue in a fight, if you can't hurt him, which it's very hard to do, you have to be a perfect boxer. And that's pretty hard to do. So like somebody like Dimitri Bivol, even Canelo at his best, it's going to be a tricky fight. He might win next time, but I don't know. But if you're anybody below that and you can't box perfectly every second, and it's hard to hurt him, Canelo, Jermell Charlo landed some really good punches, but they just weren't enough to hurt him. So.
That's 2 back-to-back fights now that have been one-sided. Is it something in the air, or is it just...
That's a good point. Yeah, no, because Crawford and Spence was obviously more one-sided than anticipated. I don't know. I think it's just a quirk of fate, because the other fight, Crawford and Spence, we certainly expected it to be a little more competitive. This one, it always had the opportunity, because he was jumping up 2 weight classes, to be more one-sided. But honestly, I think we all thought it was going to be a little more competitive. So I don't know.
Based on what you saw, how do you think Crawford would move it up 21 pounds? But what do you think of his chances with him?
Well, that's a roughie because I have all the respect in the world for Terence Crawford, but what we saw tonight is an example of the fact that you have to. Terence Crawford is a fantastic boxer. There's no question about that. But he's even, smaller than Jermell Charlo, basically, right? He's coming up from 147. So, I don't know. That's a rough assignment, I think, to come up that much, right, and face this guy now.
What about Benavidez now?
Well, Benavidez is a whole other thing because, the question is this version of Canelo Alvarez. So, Benavidez is going to land a bunch of punches just like Jermell Charlo was able to sometimes. The question is, will those punches hurt Canelo Alvarez and stop him from coming forward, right? Benavidez is a different kind of challenge. I still think that's the fight I would love to see more than any other one involving Canelo Alvarez.
shit, what a night, you know. I'm proud of myself, you know, took a chance, jumped out there strong, right off a hand injury, jumped up there with the best, one of the best guys in the division, one of the best guys in boxing. So my head is held high. I am proud of myself. I've done an awesome job for Lions Only and my crew and my team, and I love boxing, so I'm not going nowhere, and you know, just jump right into it. And you know, Canelo's a motherfucking beast, you know what I'm saying? He an ox. You know, maybe I felt that more because of the fact that, you know, this is my first time at that weight division. I wish I could have gained a little bit more weight in between, you know, from the weigh-in to that time, but I can't control my body, and I can't, you know, but like God had this already written, and, you know, I'm glad that I was in there with, you know, to put on the performance for Showtime pay-per-view. His power did play an effect, but it wasn't like too dominant to a point where I couldn't come forward, and I should have came forward a little bit more in this fight. But you know, I'm a human, and you get tired, your lateral movement, and you know, like I said, I felt some of his punches, so it was cool.
And I think you said you weighed about 172 or 173. In your opinion, what would have been optimal if you could have, you know, gotten a little heavier? How much more would have made a difference?
Maybe 5 pounds, possibly more. You know what I mean? I just felt his, you know, the same strength that he normally have. You know, like what we usually see. Like I said, I was testing myself in there, so you know, that is.
In the 7th round, you got hit with a big shot, and you didn't initially go down. It looked like you took a knee. What happened in that moment for you?
Yeah, you know, like that was like my true first time, like, you know, feeling you know, like a woozy shot. You know what I mean? Like I'm the one always giving them, and so yeah, I knew best. I watched boxing and been a part of it so long that, you know, if I would have just jumped out there, I'd have kind of embarrassed myself. So, you know, or shit could have been different, but I was smart enough to regroup, recover, and I recovered really fast. Probably could have stayed up or whatever, but I'd have just been fighting, trying to clear my head and still be getting head shots.
Were you really hurt in that moment? You came back and you threw a hook right after that seemed to land pretty good. You feel like you were still in the moment, like you were fine after that moment?
Correct. Yeah, I was good. You know, I get back up and it's nothing. I got my ass back up. You know, get back up and continue to fight. All right, I guess I'm out. Lions Only for life.
I just want to thank everybody for your support. Thank you, and I'm sorry for waiting that much, but you know, I need to do my doping and all that stuff. But thank you so much, everybody. I'm so happy because I did what I supposed to do, right? And I feel great. I feel great, and I'm so happy.
Terence Crawford, his name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if the fight make sense, why not? But he is not in the plan.
What made you Canelo tonight with the way you fought against Jermell?
Yeah, I think this is Canelo. This is Canelo. I'm back. Finally, I'm back. I feel confident right now. I feel great, and I'm so happy because, you know, I didn't feel like this for a long time, but now I'm back.
Can you take us back to the 7th round when you scored the knockdown? Can you walk us back through the sequence through your eyes and what you were thinking?
No, I work in the body, the whole fight. I work in the body, and then I change my punch, and I take him, and that's what happened with a good punch with right hand.
You looked at me and you said, you're going to see, the whole world is going to see. Did you show what you wanted to show tonight, champ?
Yeah, I would love to do more, but you know, you have him in front of a great fighter. He do his job, you know, he move a lot, but I'm happy what I did. in the fight. I'm very happy because you know I feel great.
Do you feel like he really ever at any point in the fight tried to win?
I think that happened with a lot of fighters, and that's not in my mind, right? To just survive. It's not that way, but you know, then I did my job, right?